I mean, you know, we kind of kid around about these insurance companies, and more things as far as buying automobile insurance. We'll talk about that, and even homeowners insurance, and you know, even me, I'm looking at health insurance online.
Right.
Now we're going online more often than we are going to an agency. And tell us about some of the problems that actually considers.
Well, there's a lot of different aspects when you're buying insurance that you need to make sure that it is tailored to your needs and what you have and what your exposure and what your risks are. For example, for our audience in Florida, there's no requirement that anyone that is driving around that you may come into contact with or have an accident with, that they have bodily injury coverage to protect you. So as a result, it is extremely important that you protect yourself. One aspect of that protection is the no-fault benefits that are mandated by Florida law. That's the personal injury protection that will provide at least $10,000 in health coverage, medical expenses, or potentially lost wages depending on where you go. But
Ted, that's 50 years old.
Yeah, and one trip to the ER and a couple of CT scans,
right. So,
and that's all out.
You know, talking about the PIP insurance and the no fault, that's 50 years
right.
old. $10,000 back then. Your average emergency room bill was about $650, $750. Now your average emergency room bill, you know, strips away that
right.
$10,000 so fast.
That's gone. So you can also have what's called medical payments coverage that can supplement that. That's additional health insurance basically purchased on your automobile policy. But what is critical that you analyze and review is potentially uninsured motorist coverage.
And that's the same for all of our states, Alabama,
right.
Georgia, Florida. We need to make sure that everybody knows what uninsured motorist coverage is. And in this first segment, I want to talk about it. What is uninsured motorist and why do we even need it?
Right. What that type of cover, it's a coverage that you buy to protect yourself if the person that hits you has either no insurance or not enough insurance to cover what is the damages that you have in the particular claim. And what that does is it stacks on top of whether it's 0 or if it's 25 or 100, whatever the person that is responsible for the accident, that coverage is then there available for you to seek. But it is fault-based. So the person that, there has to be someone else who caused the accident and that they are legally responsible for the injuries that you are suffering from. At that point, then you can seek that coverage on your own policy. And that's there to compensate you, whether that be for medical bills, whether that be for lost wages, or the pain and suffering and the non-economic damages that come with trying to put you back in the position that you were before this accident took place. And so that's something that's very important that a lot of people don't have it properly explained to them.
Right.
We have folks come into our office every day and they're like, oh, I wish I would have known about that.
Right.
And when you're going online on a computer, you're not going to have that explained to you as an
They're
option.
looking for the cheaper price.
Right.
Let me compare this to that and look at a cheaper price. An uninsured motorist is actually very inexpensive.
Right.
It's pennies on the dollar.
Especially for why would we buy insurance in the first place? It's for what risk we encounter day to day. And one of the riskiest propositions we encounter any day is when we get out on the roads, because you can drive as safe as you can, but you can't protect yourself from someone who's not taking care and is distracted and not properly driving.
Yeah, recently one of our friends came to me, had a change in family condition for the good. Went from 0 children to 3 very quickly. Went from a family of mommy and daddy to a family of 5 very quickly, with a couple of adoptions in there in a little bit more than a 1-year period. And then, you know, by the grace of God, here comes a child of their own as well. And you know, they asked for a checkup. They asked for a checkup of their automobile policy and things of that nature. And this gentleman, he went, you know, I remember his humble beginnings, if I can say that. Started out as just a standard real estate agent, you know, really hustled and worked hard, busted his tail. Good Christian fella, came about, you know, change of life, change of lifestyle, married, got a beautiful wife, and the next thing you know, wow, here comes 3 children. And took a look at his policy, and the first thing that stood out was not any uninsured motorist coverage. And that's for him and his family. So uninsured motorist coverage is what we call U coverage. It's to protect you, your occupants in your vehicle, and your family that reside with you.
Right, anyone in the household.
Anyone in the household that's related to you.
By blood.
By blood or
marriage.
It cannot be, oh, you know, me and girlfriend, we've been shacked up for years. It doesn't cover
common law married.
There's no common law. There's no common law, especially in Florida. Still some question about it in Alabama and Georgia, but I still think it's
still not going to qualify
on
the contractual basis
right.
of the policy.
No, it's not. So it's there to protect you and your family. And so if you're worried about something or you're concerned about it, give us a ring tonight, give us an email if you want somebody to come, evaluate your policy. We can do it for you, or we can actually help you talk with your agent and give you a couple of things. And that's what I did for my friend. I said, look, here's the thing that you need to go talk with your agent. If you want me to talk with your agent, as a courtesy, I'll be happy to do it. Got it all worked out. Everything's ready to go. He's protected, and I pray he never needs that insurance, but when he does, it'll be there for him.
Absolutely.
It's always the insurance that you don't have is the insurance when you need it the most.
Exactly. And it's better to look on the front end because you can't make this retroactive. It's good.
Not at all.
Good on him to come in and check them with you.
And how many people say, all right, I'm going to get hit by somebody today?
Right. It's never what you're predicting is going to happen.
Nobody. Everybody says, I'm going to make it to work, I'm going to make it home. I recently have a case that actually out of Jacksonville, but the family is from here, moved away and called me and kind of had the same situation. Had left their uninsured motorist in place since 1999 at a very low amount before they started their family. And unfortunately, this fellow passed away, and they only had $50,000 worth of uninsured motorist coverage. And you hate to tell the family that that's all there is. It's a family, left behind a wife, a daughter, a son. And, all they have is $50,000 in uninsured motorist coverage to help them out. And I think we all know that's nearly not enough. So please take a look at it. It's something very important.